You know what? Absolutely pathetic. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. The Kings get outscored in the fourth quarter 36-18 to a team that came in at 28-32 that had their best players, well, some of their best players hurt. You lose to the Bulls 113-109. You know what? The Kings suck at home. Play the rest of their games on the road. See if you can make a deal with the league where you don't have any more home games. Play on the freaking road. What a disgrace this game was. You get outscored in the fourth quarter, 36-18. Really? To the Bulls? Like, what the hell is wrong with this team? Maybe Ryan in Sacktown could help me out. What's wrong with this team?
It's too good of an environment for the Kings. They just need to be on the road, Grant. I mean, every guy that comes in here, Colby White tonight, career high 37 points.
37 points. Yep.
Ran circles around the Kings tonight.
You know what? Maybe they should have a coaches-only meeting. Maybe that will work next, huh? Or maybe you get the trainers and have a trainers-only meeting, or an equipment managers-only meeting, or you know what I mean? Like, the hell with this crap. How can I take this team seriously, Ryan? How can I take this team seriously?
You can't, because you can't get an accurate sample size on this team, Grant. They can't win a big game and then come off of it and win a mediocre game. But don't worry, it's crazy. And, I mean, it looked really good. You look at this game, it was the tale of two games. The second and fourth quarters, what the hell happened to the Kings? Where did they go? They had 5 points halfway through the second quarter. Come on.
I don't know how the Kings were leading by 7 at the half. I really don't. But think about this, Ryan. On your home floor, okay, you were outscored by 18 points. All right? You were outscored by 18 points in the fourth quarter.
Hard to believe. A team that does not shoot the three ball well, Grant. It wasn't a blitzkrieg on the Kings. What the hell happened? And Grant, let me throw another stat at you. Try to swallow this one, Grant. The Kings out-rebounded the Bulls 51-32.
And they made their free throws. They were 16 of 18 from the line tonight. But they didn't shoot the ball well from three. Listen, I'm disgusted, and I think everyone else is disgusted. You come home after that win against Minnesota in overtime without De'Aaron Fox, and you're supposed to be taking momentum into a home game where you had a couple of days off to get acclimated, and you lose to the Bulls. Not that the Bulls aren't chopped liver, but they're not very good. They're not let me put it to you this way, Ryan. The Bulls aren't a playoff team. You lost to a non-playoff team on your home floor after you had just moved in the 6th in the West. This team doesn't want to be a top 6 seed. They're not ready to be a top 6 seed.
No. And you just said it. It fell in their lap, Grant. They didn't do anything. You get an injury again. You get 2 broken hands on top of that will affect some of the games coming up. And then you get a good team coming into Golden One Center for you to get right. Get De'Aaron back in the flow, right?
Pathetic.
It's terrible. I don't know where to go from it. We want to hear from all of you tonight. I know you've been trying to call. Hit that QR code and also the pin chat. You guys can hit that link up there. But it's a pretty bad night. There's no way to cut it.
Before we get to Chang, I just want to let everyone know, because I'm very excited for this. Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific, right here, Scott Pollard is going to be on live. So circle it. 5 o'clock Pacific, Wednesday, Scott Pollard, right here on If You Don't Like That. Let's get to some calls, because you know what? I don't have anything else to say. I'm sorry. I have nothing else to say. This is a pathetic performance.
Can I throw one thing in? And I think you might agree with it. I got something for Mike Brown, but I got something for him. But, hey, Chang, we'll bring him in. Chang always makes it better. Chang, welcome to the show tonight.
Hey, thanks, Grant and Ryan. But Grant, I agree. What a pathetic performance. It's mind-boggling. And I didn't really want to talk about, the win with the T-Wolves, because I think Ryan hit it on the head, where how is this team going to perform when they pretty much had the win of the season? You show resilience, you show fight, and then you show this. And for me, I've been having this theory in my mind looking at this team, because last season, I thought this team was resilient. I thought this team could face adversity and win. And there was something Kevin Herter mentioned about the players only meeting that really just made me confirm what I thought was last year there was no expectation, so whatever happened, they could play loose. I feel like this year when there's expectation, this team does or this team can't play as the favorite. I feel like this team can only play as the underdog. This team, for some reason, I feel more comfortable when they're down 20 versus when they're up 20. It's mind-boggling because it seems that, they can play maybe one good quarter basketball, and then the next quarter they don't play any offense or have no defense. And I really want to praise this team because, I thought, as Grant said during, I would say halfway, we thought they were going to pretty much open up and take over the game. It looked like that.
Yep.
And my biggest gripe was Mike Brown's rotation. I did not understand why Mike Brown took all the starters out and put all the reserves to end the third quarter because I felt that killed the momentum that the starters built.
It did. Hey, hang on a minute. Ryan, we're getting a lot of people talking about your mic again. So maybe you can log off and log back on. They say your mic is very hot. You sound good to me, but we're getting a lot of people saying that. So, but again, it's up to you. We can, Cheng, so you thought that the substitution pattern at the end of the third quarter, that bothered you, right? You think that really affected the momentum of this game?
I definitely felt it affected the game because I felt the starters was doing what we thought they were going to do. They were going to come in, build that lead, and just pretty much do the kill shot and just maintain that lead into third quarter. And to me, Mike Brown doesn't ever really do this rotation or a substitution pattern where he takes everyone out and brings them the full pretty much all the bench. And I felt that gave Chicago some sort of life, especially when Chris Duarte got that technical. I almost felt like that really just changed the momentum of the game.
Let me ask you this. Did you have an issue with the way he played Sabonis tonight? And we saw Sabonis foul out, which ended up being a real crucial part in this game. We're going to talk to Ryan about this in a moment. Ryan, you thought, I can't remember what quarter it was, but you thought Mike Brown should have used a challenge on one of those fouls by Sabonis, correct?
Yeah, 100%. Grant, is my mic a little bit better? Let us know in the chat.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it is.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Mike Brown missed that is what a challenge is for. I mean, I get you want to hold on to it for a bigger play, but what's going to be a bigger play than a foul on Domantas Sabonis that is clearly not a foul? That was his third foul, which at the time the Kings are up 18, not a big deal. But look what happens, Grant, Chang.
Yeah.
You can't count your chickens for the hatch.
No,
Chang?
It's just so concerning because you can tell the defense or the way the game was played was when Sabonis was in foul trouble and Keegan was also in foul trouble. You can just tell that it seemed Chicago was able to turn on once that happened. And it's just so concerning because I feel this team struggles so much to play to their level when they're the favorite. When I almost feel like these wins, you get no credit for these wins in a way where you're supposed to win and you get no pat on the back. You're a great team. You're supposed to win these games. And I feel like when they play as the underdog, when they win, we want to give them all the credit in the world. But this team, to me, doesn't seem resilient enough to be good or great because these are the games where they know they should win and they are working their butt off.
Terrible.
But they're not going to get credit. Because the thing is, you're a great team. And that's why it just seems that this team just can't play against, I would say, I don't want to say lower level competition, but these are games where they should be able to win easily.
Yeah. Chang, thank you very much. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I want to ask Chang just one quick question. We don't have to answer it tonight. But Chang, we're talking about the team being inconsistent. I think it's fair to ask the question, do we need to break it down further than that? Is it players, not just the team? Is it certain players we need to look more at, Chang?
I've been looking through the numbers and I do have an idea of why certain things are so inconsistent, why, maybe the games look a little different. And, maybe next chat, I want to give other people time to talk, but I think next chat I'll bring it up because I will say this. There is one end to end on a positive. This team is trending in where they are shooting less 3-pointers and they're shooting more and pretty much scoring in the paint and using their mid-range. And I feel like that's the reason why this team has been having more consistent wins where the games seem a little bit closer and not blowouts.
Mhm.
But next time I think we'll talk hopefully on more positive, because I do see positive trend, but I feel like you can't really talk about anything positive tonight, especially with how pathetic the team played tonight.
Yeah,
No
that's
doubt.
awful. Chang, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Cody makes a good point too. 34 seconds left in the game. All right. And you're down by 2. And Fox makes a horrible inbounds pass. Turn the ball over. That's the game right there, really. That was the game.
It can't happen.
I mean, how bad was that?
Yeah, it can't happen. They were getting cute. They were probably going to try to do a give and go there because they were in a 2-for-1 situation.
Hey,
but Grant,
you can't have that, Ryan.
You can't. No, and we've seen it too much from this team this year. They had 18 turnovers tonight. The Bulls have 24 points off of those turnovers. That's a problem for a team. Grant, the Bulls, you know what their pace is in the NBA? 29th.
I know they're terrible that way. Hey, I want to welcome back Fosters and Paws to If You Don't Like That. They are a group of passionate animal advocates, and they work hard to save lives. They understand that rescue is hard, and a lot of times these animals are often abandoned by the humans that they trusted. They primarily focus on those vulnerable dogs in shelters, and I love the fact that they're so good with young people, teaching them at an early age how to treat animals with respect, with lifelong benefits. Now, they're looking for adopters, donors, and fosters. Now, to learn more, just go to fostersandpaws.org. That's fostersandpaws.org/adopt. Again, fostersandpaws.org/adopt. And again, it's great to have them back on here if you don't like that. You ready to take some more calls, buddy?
Yeah, well, are you ready for this guy? I mean, sometimes we're ready. Zach.
Zach, how are you,
man?
I'm not feeling too good actually right now, guys. This was just disgusting. I really want to cry right now. I really want to cry. I mean, where do you guys want me to start? The turnovers, the defense, Mike Brown, bench. Where do you want? The 3 defense?
I'll tell you where to start. I'll tell you exactly where to start. The last time you were on this show, what did I tell you? I said to you, you know what, Zach? The Kings are who they are. I said they're going to have some really good wins the rest of the way, and they're going to have some really bad losses because that's who they have showed us to be during the course of the season. And here we are, only a couple of days later, and it's another bad loss. But things aren't changing, Zach. You're not going to wake up in the morning and all of a sudden the Kings are going to be a very good team. They're a good team, but they're nothing more than that. And they're not a threat to anybody in the West. They're not going to win in the playoffs if they make the playoffs. They're not good enough. They've showed all year that in 60 games plus, they're not good enough. Why don't we just deal with reality? They're not good enough, Zach. They're not going to win in the playoffs.
It's just tough to watch because we got the 15th, whatever the lead was going into the 4th. Why can't we just keep that one time? Just one time.
Because Zach, the Kings style is not conducive to keeping leads. The Kings style is conducive to catching you like at the last second, catching you when you least expect it, and not letting you recover.
Why do you? I mean, I don't believe that. I think we could, if we're going at our pace, we're making our shots. We should be able to hold it leads, make them longer. I mean, the Warriors had a similar pace. It's not like their pace cost them a bunch of games in the 4th and everything.
Okay, but Zach, you're talking about the Kings versus the Warriors. How many championships have the Warriors?
Well, no, I was talking about the style. I'm only talking the style.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get that, but I think that there's, I don't know, there's more to it there, Zach.
By the way, the Lakers are going to beat Oklahoma City tonight. They're blowing them out at home. So, here's one other thing. The Kings are not 6th anymore. With the loss, they fall to 7. And guess who they play next? The Kings.
Lakers.
That's right, in LA. And then 24 hours later, they come home and play a team that's playing much better in San Antonio. So, I have no reason to believe that the Kings are going to be a top 6 team. I said earlier, and I really believe this, that I thought with the injury to Devin Booker with the Suns, this was exactly what the Kings needed. All right? Get a little breathing room, but I was assuming that means they would beat a team like the Chicago Bulls. Well, guess what? I'm wrong. Didn't happen.
Yeah, I want to just take a second here. I still don't understand why we're not playing Keon Ellis. I just don't get it. I want to see him off the bench. Davion, again, in 9 minutes. -12, and that's with him shooting 3 of 4. I come here all the time. I don't like. Just give Keon some chances. That's one thing. Trey Lyles, a little hesitant a couple times in that fourth quarter. I wish he shot that 3-pointer with Fox was getting harassed by Caruso. Lyles was wide open. Sometimes he's hesitant. He's done it early in the year. He's been better, but I didn't love that. 10 turnovers between Fox and Sabonis. That last one almost
can't have it. Can't have it. You can't have Sabonis and Fox turning the ball over 10 times. Can't have it.
And I mean, Keegan was playing good D on DeMar, so he got his 35, like, whatever, that's fine. But Kobe White going for 37, last two career highs against us.
It can't happen. It can't happen.
Thank you, Zach.
Take care, guys.
Appreciate it, bud.
I'm gonna go cry.
I mean, listen, you can go over all the numbers and you can analyze it any way you want. It's now March. We started doing this show in October, and without mentioning the names of the teams, if you just go back and watch a lot of our shows, this is the same narrative, time in, time out, right? We talk about the same issues with this team going now with only 20 plus games left. Nothing's changed, Ryan. Nothing has changed, has it? Am I missing something?
No, the conversation, their backs are against their wall, Grant. Where are they going to get it now? They've got to beat the Lakers. And what about Wemby? Yeah, we've already laid it out. It's what the season's going to be. And I think we just have to adjust to that. I think if we're being honest, all of us that are here, including you and I, Grant, none of us are surprised by this loss.
No,
you can't.
No, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Hey, I want to welcome back this fabulous gentleman and his business, Gold Country Veterinary Hospital, serving the foothills, Roseville, and the greater Sacramento area. Full service veterinary medicine, dentistry, surgery, and wellness care. And they're dedicated to urgent care. So basically, it's quite simple. When your pet needs to be seen, they are available. And they have advanced internal medicine, full surgical care from spay and neuter packages to advanced orthopedic procedures. And here's something else you're going to love. They are proud of their pain management protocols, so it maximizes faster recovery for their surgical and dental patients. They have the most modern technology, from CO2 laser surgery, therapeutic laser treatments, to head and full body CT screening. That's Gold Country Veterinary Hospital in Auburn. So happy to have them back on here if you don't like this. Well, you're more than welcome to call the show, and we got Nico who wants to come on next.
We're going to get to Nico.
Nico, how are you, my friend? What's the temperature in Syracuse, New York right now?
It was a high of 70 degrees today, and I'm not making that up. Man.
A high of 70 degrees in Syracuse? How about that? And tomorrow might be 15 below. Yeah, that's how it is up there.
Pretty much, yeah. We had snow last week, and now it's all gone. It's sunny, but no, it feels like the clouds are back over because it's lost tonight. I want to point out one play in the game, and I think it was that Chris Duarte technical foul that kind of turned the page in this game. And I've been texting my buddies throughout the game. I told them in that mark, I'm like, if the Kings lose this game, this is going to be the moment that I look back on where they blew this thing, and that's what happened. So when you have those moments like that, this team, time and time again, they just don't show to kind of overcome those. I don't want to say pointless fouls, but I guess that one was a pointless foul. So that was my one play of the game that I think kind of blew it.
Great point.
It's a very solid point, and it's not a problem, Nico, that's exclusive to Chris Duarte.
Yeah. Nico, I'm gonna brag about you for a minute. I met Nico when he was at Oak Ridge High School in El Dorado Hills. And I've been following his career, and he keeps on sending me tapes, and he's now at the School of Broadcasting at the prestigious Syracuse University. Some of the greatest sportscasters that we have in this country are from Syracuse, and I'm hoping that this man right here will be following in their footsteps. I'm so proud of you, man. You are, every time I look at your work, you're just getting better and better and better. You have a very bright future ahead of you, and I'm very proud of you. I just want to let you know. I want to let everybody know on this stream, you're kicking ass, my friend. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, Grant. Appreciate it. It's been awesome getting to know you the past couple of years. And we had you on our show a couple weeks ago here at Syracuse, and that was awesome. So thanks again for hopping on, and appreciate the kind words and having me on your show and everything. So hopefully this team can turn the page after tonight. But just an up and down season, and I think like you guys have been talking about, trying to get adjusted to this new style of basketball that they're playing, where you don't know what's going to happen night in and night out. But hoping for the best. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I hope
Hey,
you don't have
Nico.
a real early class because it's almost 1 a.m. there in New York. So
Yeah.
I'm being like a dad. I'm checking up on you. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm gonna be the bad brother then, Nico. I gotta ask you one question. What's the East Coast view? What's the national view of this Kings team?
Well, let's just say last year that I walked on campus and I was the only Kings fan most people had ever met in their lives. So that was step one. There was one other person that I ran into here with a Kings sweatshirt on, and he went to UC Davis and transferred here after a couple of years. Other than that, I think I'm the only Kings fan here on campus. And the national perception is the whole light the beam phenomenon is really kind of gone global. I think, or nationwide. I think that's the big thing. And they recognize the star players, and they really respect the team now. Before that, I wasn't here, of course, because my first year we were lucky enough to have the good team. So I don't know what the national perception was beforehand, but now it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So 8 a.m. class, but we love watching this team late, and then I like jumping on your guys' show afterwards too. So
hey, you're the best. You take care, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again in the near future. You take care of yourself.
Definitely. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks, Nico.
He's doing so well.
Man,
He's like you. I mean, honestly, if you could have seen his tapes from 2 years ago to now, and his composure and his comfort in front of the camera and everything else, he's now doing hockey, and he sent me a couple of hockey tapes. I'm so proud of him, man. I love that. He's doing great.
You know what? He reached out to me about a month ago, maybe
That's
2
great.
months ago. And we've been in infrequent communication, but I checked out his work, Grant. He's got the voice. He's got the look. He's got the knowledge.
He's great.
It's going to knock it out of the freaking park.
He is going to knock it out of the park. I'll tell you what else. You can knock it out of the park when you need plumbing needs, repairs, because New Works Plumbing, they are awesome. And they've got a fix for you, regardless of whether it's 4 a.m. or 4 p.m. They'll be there for you. Just call that number on your screen or go to sackserviceplumbing.com. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. That's newworksplumbing.com or sackserviceplumbing.com. They both will get you to where you need to go. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you.
Shout out to New Works, by the way. Beautiful hat. Courtesy
yes, I like that, my man.
Trent
I like
and
that.
the team. Yes.
Good
So
job
Grant,
there.
I'm bothered by something tonight. And maybe you can help me out. This is what bugs me. Usually when the Kings lose a game like this, it feels like a Kings loss. It feels like, so-and-so didn't show up. Well, you've got all 5 starters in double digits. You've got Monk off the bench, 11. I know that's low for him, but the fact that you have 5 starters in double digits, you out-rebound them 20. This should not be a loss. And we keep saying it, but this is different than last.
I'm with you. You just brought up some really good points. You know what my mantra is about this, right? I judge the team in 5-game increments.
Yes.
I try not to make too much out of one game, but I keep on going back to this, and I know people are probably getting tired of me saying it. The inconsistency of this team is the only consistent thing about this season. That's it. I don't want to put this loss on the shoulders of De'Aaron Fox, but your max player, your all-star from a year ago, he can't make a pass like that on the inbound. That cannot happen. You're down 2. You inbound the ball, you're in a 2-for-1 there. 35 seconds left.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time to get a shot off. Even if you get a shot off in 6 or 7 seconds and don't make it and the Bulls get the rebound, you still have an opportunity to get a stop with a timeout and get the ball back and have another opportunity. That cannot happen from a player of that caliber. Can't happen.
No, and we've been asking De'Aaron to be a little bit better with the assists, and he has this season. He has 10 tonight, but the one that you talk about, that overshadows it. But then 5 turnovers. We've seen too many games this season from him where the ball's getting turned over a little too much.
Stan makes a really good point, okay? And he said, Fox isn't a leader, Grant. Exactly why I was against trading Halliburton. Halliburton is everything Fox isn't. Listen, do we have to really go back and revisit that? I understand your point, but Fox had a timeout there. If no one's open, call a timeout. A timeout there, even with none remaining after that, is better than a turnover there. You've got to score on that possession. You've got to get a shot in that possession. As Jerry Reynolds always used to say, a bad shot is better than no shot. They didn't get a shot.
Yes.
They turned the ball over. Call a timeout there. You can't have that happen.
Can't happen. I mean, you got to have the poise to do it there. But I think he brings up a point, because if you want to just put one sample size versus one sample size, and we're talking 1 game sample sizes, look at a Domantas Sabonis and Malik Monk led Kings team.
Yep.
Look at a De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis led team. What's different? What is it? Leadership.
Well,
maybe
you always talk about the pick and roll. That's what you talk about almost
the pick
every
and
game.
roll. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. They're different players, so you have to respect them
Yep.
from that sense. But De'Aaron's more isolation based, and sometimes his head, and I want to give him a lot of credit. There were 2 or 3 plays tonight. He was looking beyond the first level of defense. He looked to the second level of defense. So it was there, but sometimes he's just got the head down too much. And
all right. Yeah. Baki says all of this is only Mike Brown's fault, but we don't have time to talk about that. We always have time to talk about that. It needs a lot of talk to waste such a beautiful 3/4 of the game. Never seen. All right. You were going to talk about Mike Brown earlier, so let's do it now.
Yeah, I think that for how liberal he's been with that bench at times and making adjustments based on matchups, I don't think he did that tonight. I really don't. I think defensively that was the problem. Offensively wasn't so much the issue. Everything in the first half was to the basket. So now, to
his credit, you also on the postgame show praised him after the Minnesota game. You thought he did a marvelous job coaching. So we're trying to be fair. We're objective. We're going to give props when it's due, but we're also not going to have any problem criticizing. And I do agree with you tonight. I think he deserves criticism for this loss tonight.
You can't be out-coached by Billy Donovan. You can't let Colby White come in here, who has been struggling.
Amen.
And drop
yes,
37 on you. I don't care if you throw Mason Jones between your legs at Colby White. You got to get something at him. That's just the bottom line. We go back to the phones. We bring in our buddy Alex. What's up, man?
Hello,
How you
Alex.
doing tonight?
Hey, good. How about you guys?
Good.
Great.
Thank you, Alex.
Good. So I don't have a whole lot today. Just you guys pretty much hit it on the button. Just want to say thank you guys for doing this show. We love and appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think Grant had mentioned it that we can't really trust this team where we're not going to win in the playoffs. I think we have to just take a deep breath and accept it. We're probably a playing team, and if we somehow squeeze that victory or 2 victories you need, we're probably not going to win a playoff series. So it's tough. If anybody's I was talking to some buddies about what to sum up this season by, and if anybody reads literature or fictional literature, there's a Robert Louis Stevenson made a book called Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and I think that's what our season is.
Yep.
No
Can't
doubt.
disagree with that, my friend. Can't disagree with that.
So, but anyway, just want to say thank you guys, and we'll see what happens on Wednesday. We're either going to get a W by a lot, or I think I'm just never surprised with this team anymore. I think Ryan or Grant had said it that nothing surprises us anymore. Today, we beat Minnesota. We were happy, but we can't have nice things around here, right? Because then we lose to another undermanned, team. So, just life of a Kings fan, I guess.
Yeah, Alex, let me ask you this. So you talk about like the season and how you summarize it. How much of your anxiety is just about this season and thinking it's growing pains? And how much is it looking at the big decisions that are coming up for the Kings and the lack of movement that they've made in the past couple seasons running it back?
Well, that's an interesting point, because I think a lot of us were excited because we made the 3rd seed last year, but I always had somewhat of an asterisk next to it just because so many teams were hurt. And it was hard to take it. And I took it serious. Don't get me wrong. I took it serious, but I still had an asterisk next to it. So when we did decide to run it back, I was a little concerned, thinking, man, I think, what if Kawhi is not injured? What if Booker's not injured? Like everybody that was injured last year, we got pretty lucky last year, I feel like.
Yes.
So it was a concern that happening. I do think, again, as Grant has mentioned in the past, that if we get annihilated, we barely make play-in, something happens like that, there might be heads rolling. There might be a
There will be.
crazy
Oh, there will
trade,
be.
a firing. Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah. What do you guys think there's going to be some crazy stuff happening at season's end?
I do, but let's cross that bridge when we get to it because there's still a lot of games left and a possible playoff. So let's when it's all said and done, we'll have those conversations.
Yeah, 100%. We'll just have to enjoy whatever ride we're going to go on right now, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, buckle up. You're going on one.
Yeah, you guys have a great night.
Thank you, Alex. Here's the other deal, Ryan. You pointed this out a week ago. So the Kings have a day off tomorrow, travel day.
Yep.
They play the Lakers on Wednesday night, and then the next night they play San Antonio, who will be in Sacramento watching the game. That's the Kings' third game in 4 nights. And so here we are again, where I don't want to call the Lakers game a must-win, but it's one of those games where you're hoping this team bounces back. And you talked about this after the Minnesota game. The one positive that I take out maybe more than anything this year is after a bad loss, the Kings seem to play very well in their next game. And this tonight was a bad loss.
It was indeed. So let's hope the trend continues for him. It's just, Grant, we're going to hit a point. I think we have to realize this because there is a finite amount of games left in the regular season where we're going to stop saying that this is a bad loss and we're going to say this was the loss.
Only 22 games remaining for the Sacramento Kings. Hey, Bennett's, whether it's their West Side Grill in Rockland or their location in Sacramento or Roseville, you're going to find the same great food, prime seafood and steaks at Bennett's. It's awesome. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. You can make a reservation, check out the menu and more. 60 different types of wine available by the glass. Weekend brunch, weekend prime rib. It's all there for you at Bennett's. Again, go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com and check out everything that they have to offer. Not good tonight. There's just no other way to say it. This is a game. The Bulls stole this game tonight. The Bulls came into Sacramento and they stole this game tonight. They stole the game, and the Kings allowed them to come in and take it away.
See, I don't know how they stole the game, though. Like, I don't know how, and I just watched 48 minutes of basketball, Grant.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's the hard thing. And here's the other thing. James Ham is reporting De'Aaron Fox said the turnover, which we have been talking about a lot, in the final 30 seconds was a miscommunication between he and Monk. Normally that play goes to Sabonis, but he had fouled out, and it was Barnes or Vucevic, so he had to choose to try to find Monk.
So the team was unprepared for that inbounds play. That's what that tells me.
He just threw Mike Brown under the bus.
That's exactly what he did, which is why I'm going back to this. The team was not prepared for the inbounds pass. That's what that was, right?
Your star point guard who just dropped 20 points and 10 assists and
5 turnovers.
5 turnovers and had the turnover just also. And to a degree to put Malik's name in there, Grant.
Oh, boy.
That's one, Grant, for me, that's one I swallow and I say, look, I just made a bad pass.
That's exactly right. You don't need to explain that at all to the media. You don't need, you're the leader, quote unquote. You're the max guy. You're the guy. You know how you handle that? Hey, you know what? The ball's in my hands. I have to do a better job. Period. You bite your tongue, and then you go into the locker room and you curse out your coach or whoever you have to curse out. Okay? That's the way that's handled. The way he just handled that tonight, that's the wrong way to handle that. You want to be the guy? You take responsibility. The ball was in your hands, and you had a timeout you could use if the guy that you wanted to get the ball to, if they didn't know what they were doing, if there's miscommunication, you as a max point guard have a timeout. You can take a timeout, and then you have 2 minutes to discuss it with your coach on the sideline before you go back and inbound the ball. That's awful.
That's pretty bad. And let's take this. We're not gonna play theories. Everything you said is spot on. There's really nothing to add, but take a step back. They just came off a players only meeting, right, Grant? And they just came off of how many games without De'Aaron Fox? And they just came off a game where the team had one of their best team victories without De'Aaron. Fox, and now De'Aaron Fox comes back tonight and says that.
I'm telling you, man, that's bad news.
It's just that's not the night you do that.
No, it's
to me,
not.
that's not a coincidence.
Nope. Bad job right there. Hey, I want to tell you about Calusa Sunrise and Sunrise Landing from Blazona Development. Go check out Sunrise Landing. And we're talking about the newest residential community in Calusa. It's a 5-phase development project. We're talking about 180 total home sites with lot sizes ranging from 7,600 square feet to over 16,000 square feet. Beautiful, spacious interiors, as you can see. We're talking about quality, craftsmanship, affordability, and community. Located adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club with easy access to Highway 20, Highway 45, and I-5. Sunrise Landing, go to CalusaSunrise.com. That is CalusaSunrise.com, and you can check it out for yourself. Sunrise Landing from Blazona Development. Great point.
Wow.
Great point about Fox and not biting his tongue there. He just completely killed a couple of people in the locker room. Can't have that. Can't have it.
And they've got a day off. So you would think probably just a film session tomorrow, Grant?
No, I think they'll practice because they just had 2 days off. So they won't do anything hard. But no, I think they'll have more than a film session tomorrow. Plane will leave at 3 o'clock. They'll probably get there at 11. And they'll do a good film, and then they'll have a practice, and then they'll eat, and then they'll go to the airport.
Interesting. Be interesting to see if they open it up to the media. Because I mean, I'd like to hear the audio after tonight, but you know, I think everybody's going to have to digest this one. And I'm not saying it because of De'Aaron's comments. I mean, the majority of what I'm seeing from the comments, what I'm seeing on the X Grant is pretty much, I'm going to read one tweet. Plain and simple, this shit is unacceptable.
Nothing else really needs to be said on that, right? You know?
Nope.
Hey, I want to once again let everyone know that on Wednesday, right here, 5 o'clock Pacific, Scott Pollard. We're going to talk about his journey. We're going to talk about his family history. We're going to talk about donors. We're going to talk about how he's doing now after his heart transplant surgery 2 weeks ago Friday. So I hope you can join me for that special live show Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific. Hope you can join us for that.
That's going to be a special one. Is it the first time Scott's spoken in an extended form publicly?
In an extended form, yes. He's done a couple of interviews that have been short form, but this will be the first extended form interview. Yes, to the best of my knowledge, by the way.
Great. I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see him, and I'm sure he'll be overwhelmed by the love from here in Sacramento. And do me a favor as well. I'll be here Wednesday, Grant, but please, if you would, subscribe to the King's Court. That is my daily Kings Insider podcast. Try to get you in and out about 10, 15 minutes. And then also we've got some fun stuff on there from time to time, but we get you ready for all the games. Go check it out. I promise you will enjoy it.
And I'm going to pat your back, because I think this is necessary. I listened to your recent podcast talking about your background and how you got to this point, and you did a great job. So I invite people to go check out Rhino's podcast that he just did. If you want to learn more about him and his background and his basketball knowledge and his perseverance, check it out. You did a great job on that podcast. Excellent job.
Thank you, Napes. I appreciate it. And if any clones are watching this show right now, I am okay. Grant, I know you probably weren't listening to the Jim Rome show today. But
no, I wasn't.
For about an hour, it was suggested that at Smack Off 30, Jim bring some of us to Vegas, and we just do the Smack Off there. And they'll build a special stage with a trap door, and he'll rent Siegfried and Roy's Tigers, and I'm going to be the first one fed. So we had there was an hour conversation on Ryan in Sacramento becoming cat excrement. So that's the clones for you.
Gotta love it. All right. Don't forget Wednesday at 5 o'clock. I'm going to see if Jerry can come on Thursday before the Spurs game at either 4 or 5. And the reason for that is we normally do Jerry on Wednesdays at 4, but I'd really like to get him on after the Lakers game. So we'll see.
Yeah, and Wednesday there will be no pregame show. We're going straight Grant and Scott. No pregame. You get to that.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, please subscribe if you have not already done so. Give us a thumbs up. Tough one tonight. We really appreciate you going through this. I know there are a lot of upset people, a lot of upset fans. I get that. I understand. We're right with you. Next, you can't do anything about tonight. You got to get ready for the next game in LA against the Lakers. All right, you take care, everyone. Stay safe. Don't forget, Wednesday, 5 o'clock Pacific, right here, Scott Paul.